At the dawn of the 20th century, a profound rift in American society became increasingly evident. DuBois crystallized deep divisions in America. How did this statement resonate in the heart of a young preacher during the civil rights movement? The legacies of DuBois and Martin Luther King Jr. reveal a tapestry of thought that continues to inspire. As America struggled with the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow, DuBois emerged as a pivotal figure. The early 20th century faced lynchings and segregation, chilling reminders of a nation grappling with its conscience. As a co-founder of the NAACP in 1909, DuBois became a relentless advocate for justice, actively seeking to dismantle the systemic injustices that plagued African Americans. He championed the talented 10th, urging a leadership class to guide African Americans toward equality, believing that their advancement was crucial for the progress of all black people in America. DuBois introduced the concept of double consciousness, capturing the internal conflict faced by African Americans navigating a prejudiced society. This profoundly influenced King, who understood that the struggle for civil rights involved both external and internal battles for self-identity. As King articulated his dreams for an equitable society, echoes of DuBois resonated in his words, emphasizing the urgency of their shared causes. King and DuBois represented contrasting activism approaches. DuBois favored an elite path to equality, advocating for higher education and intellectual empowerment as means to advance the African American community. In contrast, King's grassroots, nonviolent resistance rallied the masses, focusing on collective action and moral persuasion. Their differing philosophies illuminate diverse pathways to liberation, yet both were united in their commitment to justice. And then came the defining moment of King's legacy, the "I Have a Dream" speech. On the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, amid a sea of over 250,000 supporters on August 28, 1963, King invoked ideals DuBois championed. Standing before the statue of Abraham Lincoln, he declared, "I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed." In these words, their aspirations merged, crystallizing hope for a future free from discrimination. In contemporary society, DuBois' legacy remains vibrant, shaping our discourse on justice. To understand the civil rights struggle, we must revisit the foundational philosophies that fueled it, so we can ignite change for future generations. W.E.B. DuBois was a towering intellectual figure, urging African Americans to pursue higher education and to embrace their cultural identity. He envisioned a society where educated leaders could uplift their communities and challenge oppression. This vision resonated deeply with King as he navigated his path in the civil rights movement. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, on January 15, 1929, King grew up immersed in a culture profoundly influenced by his father's ministry and teachings, which emphasized the quest for social justice. King's childhood was marked by the harsh realities of the Jim Crow South. He learned early on the painful lessons of discrimination, witnessing his father, Martin Luther King Sr., contend with the systemic oppression that plagued their community. His father often echoed DuBois' sentiment regarding the color line, the separation of races being the defining issue of the century. King reflected on the struggles of the black community under systemic oppression, and he embraced DuBois' assertion that education was a crucial tool for liberation. As King pursued academia, first at Morehouse College, then at Crozer Theological Seminary, and finally at Boston University, he absorbed DuBois' principles of higher education and intellectual empowerment. King's studies were not solely academic, they were a crucible that ignited his resolve to challenge injustice. He grasped the dual consciousness concept, living between the world as it is and the world as it ought to be. This understanding fueled King's desire to uplift African Americans and build coalitions across racial lines, a hallmark of his philosophy. King's activism gained momentum with the landmark 1954 Supreme Court ruling of Brown v. Board of Education, which declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional. This monumental decision was a catalyst, sparking hope and determination among civil rights advocates. Yet, King, ever perceptive, recognized that legal changes alone wouldn't dismantle deeply ingrained prejudices and attitudes in American society. He understood that the movement required a transformation of hearts and minds, not merely laws on paper. And this understanding propelled King to form the Southern Christian Leadership Conference in 1957, galvanizing African American churches to amplify DuBois' belief in collective action as a powerful vehicle for change. The SCLC became a pivotal force in the civil rights movement, emphasizing nonviolent resistance as a method to confront racial injustice. The organization drew from the rich traditions of black churches, infusing spirituality into the fight for civil rights. It was here that King developed his philosophy of love and nonviolence, inspired by the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi and the moral imperative to resist oppression without resorting to violence, /n/enduring campaigns for voting rights and desegregation. King invoked DuBois principles. To be truly free, participation in democracy was essential. This truth was evident during the Montgomery bus boycott, which began in December 1955 after Rosa Parks' courageous refusal to give up her seat to a white man. King's leadership exemplified the effectiveness of nonviolent protest against injustice. His speeches during this time resonated deeply with those feelings silenced, igniting a collective spirit of resilience among the African American community /n/. One particularly poignant moment, as he addressed the throngs gathered at the Holt Street Baptist Church, King spoke of the dignity of black individuals. With passion, he declared, "We cannot turn back. We will not turn back." His words encapsulated the resolve to confront the injustices of segregation head-on, urging the community to embrace nonviolence and love as the guiding principles of their struggle /n/. However, King faced violent backlash and imprisonment, testing his resolve. Throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s, he endured threats, economic retaliation, and even physical violence against himself and his family. The firebombing of his home in Montgomery was a stark reminder of the dangers he faced. Yet he remained steadfast, believing in the moral arc of the universe bending toward justice, echoing DuBois' faith in equality's ultimate triumph. In his own words, King stated, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere", illustrating the interconnected fate of all who seek equality /n/. The summer of 1963 marked a turning point in the civil rights movement, culminating in the historic March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. On that day, the steps of the Lincoln Memorial became a stage for a movement, filled with diverse faces, voices, and dreams converging. King delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, intertwined with the legacy of both leaders. Standing before that throng, he shared his vision of a nation where his children would be judged by their character, not the color of their skin. The vibrancy of the moment captured the essence of King's philosophy, that love, unity, and determination could overcome the darkness of hate and division /n/. And the civil rights movement gained unprecedented momentum, intertwining the legacies of DuBois and King. King's philosophy of love contrasted sharply with more militant approaches espoused by some factions within the movement. Yet, it harmonized beautifully with DuBois' call for dual strategies. This kinship framed the struggle for rights as both immediate and long-term, a marathon requiring sustained effort and unwavering commitment. King was acutely aware of the sacrifices made by those who marched for justice. He often reminded his followers that the road to freedom would not be easy but would require enduring faith and courage /n/. In the years following the March on Washington, King remained a beacon of hope and a relentless advocate for justice. His tireless work during the Selma to Montgomery marches in 1965 underscored the urgency of voting rights. The images of peaceful protesters confronting violent opposition seared into the national consciousness, igniting outrage and support across the country. On March 7, 1965, known as Bloody Sunday, marchers were brutally attacked by law enforcement on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. This horrific event galvanized public support and brought national attention to the fight for voting rights, leading to the Voting Rights Act of 1965, signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson. It was a hard-fought victory, a testament to the struggles endured by countless individuals who dared to dream of a better future /n/. Tragically, King's assassination on April 4, 1968, marked a heart-wrenching end to a life dedicated to justice. He was shot while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, where he had been supporting striking sanitation workers. The nation mourned the loss of a visionary leader, yet his dreams lived on, ignited by DuBois' earlier flame. /n/. Their interconnected philosophies remind us that the struggle for racial equality is a continuum, bridging past and present. Du Bois' intellectual rigor paired with King's moral fervor created a legacy that continues to inspire movements for justice today. The their legacies serve as a testament to vision, determination, and hope. As we consider our roles in continuing their fight, we are urged to reflect on our responsibility as members of society. The journey toward equality is not over, the dream deferred is a call to action. We must not only dream of a better future but participate in its creation. Together, we can make their dream a tangible reality.